Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So we are revising or continuing on the 30th of January 85. Baba was speaking about and explaining to us the wonderful effects of the elements that they will have, how we can convert each. Today spoke about how we can transform the energy of each vice into our servers. And then rather than having them as our slaves, use them as our servants. And also the importance of the last day, that there can be a big transformation, because it was the last day of the Mela. So it was like a day of victory. Chambab also spoke about the Kumaris wanting to become servants or wanting to become world benefactors. Talking about bondage and having a large vision. So let's continue on. Bap Dada meeting, serviceable teachers. Serviceable ones are those who constantly experience the pleasure of service. They are those who constantly experience their lives to be of pleasure. A serviceable life means a life of pleasure. So, you are those who constantly stay in the pleasure of remembrance and service, are you not? So you are those who constantly stay in the pleasure of remembrance and service, are you not? You have the pleasure of having remembrance and also the pleasure of doing service. Your lives are of pleasure and the age is of pleasure. Seeing those who constantly stay in pleasure, others also experience pleasure in their lives. No matter how confused some who come in front of you are, those who remain in pleasure are able to free them from confusion and bring them into a state of pleasure. Such servers who remain in pleasure are always healthy in their bodies and minds. Janki Dadi being the number one example of that, always in pleasure, always just in mojo, always enjoying the fact that she's on this wonderful confluence age. So always healthy in their bodies and their minds. Those who remain in pleasure constantly keep flying because they have happiness. It is generally said, this one continues to dance in happiness. He is not just walking, but is dancing. To dance means to go high. You can only dance when you lift your feet. So those who remain in pleasure are those who remain happy. The lifting of the feet, meaning not being too stuck in what's going on in the world, but being able to remove myself, even if momentarily, not feeling like I have another option and not feeling stuck and not feeling constantly connected to the situation that's going on around me, which, life, there's always something or the other happening, but being able to detach myself from it, even if it's momentarily, but in the form of dance, I can lift my feet, I can go high, and I can have a different point of view on things as well. So those who remain in pleasure are those who remain happy. To be a server means to receive a special blessing from the bestower of blessings. A server has a special blessing. One is your own attention, and the other is the blessing, a double lift. To be a server means to be a soul who is constantly free. to experience the stage of liberation in life. No, obviously, when you have a role of authority in something you need to carry out, you need to pay attention. And then usually, something you need to do for yourself, you might feel a little bit um, that it's okay to cut corners or not do it as well, or be a little late or be like that if it's just for the self. But when you're accountable to other people, so you're on the world stage and you're a server and you have a responsibility, no matter what that might be, there does seem to be a little bit of a natural maturity that comes along with it. So Baba says that makes you capable of blessings. So you are also responsible and you get blessings from the Father as well. So to be a server means to be a soul who is constantly free to experience the stage of liberation in life. Second point, are you servers constantly embodiments of success? Success is your birthright. A right is received easily. It doesn't require effort. So you are those who experience success in the form of a right. Let there be the faith and the intoxication that success is guaranteed. You don't think about whether you be successful or not, do you? You have all the rights, and it is not possible for someone who has all the rights not to have a right. You have faith, and so victory is guaranteed. It's like if you have a pass or a ticket to something, you bought a ticket to Disneyland, so you have a right to enjoy all the rides. You've got a VIP pass and you've got a right to visit all the sections. So you know that there's a guarantee because you've got a right to it. There's no confusion whatsoever. Do I have it? Can I go? Because you know that it's guaranteed. So you have faith. I have faith and I have victory. So victory is guaranteed. This is the definition of a server. And the definition is practical. A server means one who experiences success easily. At the time of farewell, everyone sang the song, "Do not leave us now, our hearts are not fulfilled." Abhi na jao chhod karke dil abhi bhara nahi. So to the extent that Bap Dada is the ocean of love, he is also detached. Speaking words of love is one of the pleasure of the confluence age. You can celebrate with pleasure, eat, drink, and dance, but, so underline the word but, constantly. You should celebrate, but constantly. Just as you are merged in love now, so remain merged all the time. This is Baba expressing when we feel perhaps a little bit, oh, Baba's leaving, he shouldn't leave. So we feel a little less than, or we feel like the celebration's over, or we might have felt like the vibrations are going to change, the environment's going to change, Baba's love is going to be changed in a way. So Baba's saying, but you are supposed to feel that, celebrate that constantly. So Baba bringing us into the awareness that Baba is beyond. He's not just in the Sakar form. He is he, of course, and that does give a boost. But Baba, and I think many of us would have seen that time of Avyakt meetings. But now that Baba's gone even more subtle than that, so he's prepared us for that. So he's referring to the time that you are celebrating, and you should celebrate that constantly. Of course, there's a feeling that when Baba leaves, you don't want him to leave. But Baba's pointing out it shouldn't be that, because our love, our condition should really not be dependent on his physical presence. So Baba is saying you can celebrate, but constantly. Just as you are merged in love now, so remain merged all the time. Baba continues to hear the songs of the heart from each child. Today he heard the songs you sang with your lips. Bap Dada does not focus on the lyrics on the tune, but hears the sound of the heart. That's lovely. But the sound of the heart. Now you are always with him, whether in a physical form or an avyakt form, you are always with him. So this is this is the blessing of the confluence age, that we have the capacity because we have the knowledge, we have the time, we have the understanding. We've got Baba's blessing with us, and we are also aware. And we've kind of also had enough of spending time with others and being busy in my other things, that I would have not hit the peak of wanting God in my life like I would have other times. 63 births, I am busy. I keep myself busy with doing other things because I'm not really ready to go home yet. So I perhaps don't call out to Baba from the heart as much as I do. But now he's saying, now we are ready. We've got the knowledge. We've got Baba's eye on us. Baba's got our hand. Baba's keeping us with him. Now, whether in a physical form or an avyakt form, you are always with him. The days of separation are now over. Now the confluence age is the mela of meeting. It is just that the scenes keep changing in the mela, sometimes physical and sometimes avyakt. Acha. Good morning. So Baba perhaps probably would have stayed until midnight, like he used to do many a times. So it might have been the time of the morning by the time he left. Acha. Baba saying, Bap Dada said, children are having a conference. A conference, a sammelan, okay, means a meeting for all. Those who come to the conference definitely have to be made the same as yourselves, if not the same as the Father. To those who come definitely have to return, having become something, not just having said something. So become something, not just said something. This is the home of the bestower. Let those who come not think that they have come to help us or to give us their cooperation, but let them think that this is a place for taking something, not for giving to it. You usually have the feeling of giving somewhere where you feel like there's a lack or there's a less than. But Baba's saying, because we are so full, it's the house of God, it's the place of God where God comes and God's children all come together. And Baba's given us all the treasures. So if we have that feeling within our hearts, then everyone who comes to that place should feel like they're here to take something, not to give. They shouldn't really see a gap or a margin or a lack of anyway that they feel like they can fill or they need to fill. This is a place for taking something, not for giving to it. Here, those who meet, small or big, those who are present here at the time, have to believe that they are to become master bestowers through their drishti, the atmosphere, their relationships and connections. You must send each one back, having given them something. Let this be each one's aim. Regard must definitely be given to those who come, but also let them have the regard for the one Father too. Baba said, if all my lighthouse children give light everywhere by serving through their minds, then success is guaranteed. That one physical lighthouse guides so many people, and so you lighthouse and might house children can perform great wonders. Acha. So this was speaking to the teachers. Previously, Baba spoke to the Kumaris, the teachers. Now Baba specially speaking to Kumars. You Kumars have become Brahma Kumars. But after, after becoming Brahma Kumars, what do you have to become? Powerful Kumars. Until you become powerful, you cannot be victorious. Powerful Kumars would always be knowledgeful and powerful souls. To be knowledgeful means to know the Creator, to know the creation, and to know the various forms of Maya too. Those who are knowledgeful and powerful in this way are always victorious. And to know the creation. Those who are knowledgeful and powerful in this way, so knowing about God, the creator, the creation, and also Maya. So those who are knowledgeful and powerful in this way are always victorious. To imbibe knowledge in your life means to make knowledge your weapon. Those who are holding their weapons would be powerful, would they not? Today, on what basis are military people powerful? Because they have the weapons and the guns, they are fearless. Those who are knowledgeful would definitely be powerful, and they would also have full knowledge of Maya. What will happen? How will it happen? I don't know how Maya came. This means you are not knowledgeful. Knowledgeful souls know in advance, because we can know in advance because we're picking up the little hints, we're picking up vibrations. We're not dependent on seeing the events in a practical form, but we are used to picking up the subtle energy. We are used to going into the minute details of things and having our line so clear that we know the reason behind what's being said or what's being done or the intention behind what's going on. So having a larger picture of things that going on as well. So we know Maya before Maya even comes. So Baba says, if you're not doing that, we're way too dependent on the sakar, on the physical or the actual, when the things actually validate and they come in the forefront. If we're too dependent on that, then we're not really knowledgeful, or we're not using the knowledge in the correct way. So to use words like what will happen, how will it happen, I don't know how it happened, this means you are not knowledgeful. Knowledgeful souls know in advance. Those who are sensible know about their illness in advance. When someone is getting a fever, he would know in advance that something is happening. And so he would take a medicine in advance and put himself right and get well. And I think many people do that. If you're observant of what you've eaten, you know what goes on in your body every day, and you see that something's changing, before you become really ill and bedridden, you pick up on the little hints and you start looking after yourself. You'll fast, you'll do something, you'll change your diet for a couple of days, you'll sleep well, you'll drink well, just to make sure that, you get yourself right. So in the same way, we can see that something's changing. Some things from the past is creeping up, or something from the vibrations from the Kalyugi world is going to the extreme. So we pick up those little hints and we act accordingly. If we need to fast on something, we do. If we need to intensify our efforts according to the time, we do. So being sensible. So Baba saying someone who is not sensible will get a fever and still keep moving around, and the fever will keep increasing. Maya comes in this way too, but you have to understand this before she comes and chase her away from a distance. So you are such sensible and powerful Kumars, are you not? You are constantly victorious, are you not? Or is it that Maya comes and it takes you time to chase her away? You know, it's better to keep the gate locked and not let Maya in, because once she is inside, you can be a little bit like a mad dog. So, you know, if you've got your gate closed, it's easy to kind of keep yourself safe. But if you let her in accidentally or because of your carelessness, or you allow someone else to be the gatekeeper of your, and you say it's not wasn't because of me, but someone else let that crazy dog in. So it can sort of create havoc, and then to chase that crazy dog out of my yard can become a bit of an issue, because you have to spend time, you have to, you know, because it's crazy and it's going all over the place. It's going to use my energy. It's going to create confusion in me, a lot of things. So seeing the power from a distance, the enemy runs away. If they come and you have to chase them away, your time is wasted and the habit of weakness is created. When someone falls ill again and again, he becomes weak, does he not? Or if someone repeatedly fails in their studies, it would be said that he is a weak student. In the same way, if Maya comes again and again and continues to attack you, you would then develop the habit of being defeated. Then by repeatedly being defeated, you would become weak. How that happens? So if something keeps happening again and again, you know, we're already in such low vibrations, and then we keep the internal talk we have within ourselves, that's what we end up doing. Oh yeah, see, I failed last time as well. See, the same thing happened with that person. So of course I'm going to do the same thing. Of course I have that bad sanskar in me, that weak sanskar in me. So we have that self-talk, and even to ourselves, we keep, you know, telling ourselves that of course I'm going to lose because I'm weak and I always make the same mistake. So Baba's saying by being repeatedly defeated, you would become weak. Therefore, become strong. Such strong souls always experience attainment and do not waste time battling. They happily celebrate their victory. So let there not be any weakness of any kind. A Kumar intellect is good and healthy. By becoming a half Kumar, the intellect is divided. Well, same thing Baba was saying to the Kumaris as well. Do you want the burden, or do you want to have the crown of being a world benefactor? So Baba is saying if you have a Kumar, you're very good and you're strong and you're healthy. But if you become a other Kumar, your intellect gets divided. Kumars only have to do one thing. They just have to think about their own lives, whereas others have so many responsibilities. You are free from responsibilities, and those who are free will go ahead. Those who have a burden will go slowly. Those who are free would be light and would thereby go fast. So are you those who are moving at a fast speed and are constant and stable? Constantly fast means to be constant and stable. Let it not be that after 6 months, you continue to move as you were moving. That is not called a fast speed, you know. Say, jaisa chalta rahega, waisa hi chalta rahega. So you will, if your effort is the same, if your input is the same, then your result obviously is going to be the same. So you can't be using the same tactics, because, you know, we are conscious beings and things change, situations change and times change. So we have to be aware, we have to be conscious of what's going on. We cannot live like a machine. We can't do the same thing we did 5 years ago or even yesterday. We have to be constantly aware. We have to be on top of things. We have to know what's going on. We have to constantly know what's going on within me. Is Maya coming? We have to see from a distance. We have to check the vibrations, being aware, being conscious, not living like a machine. You know, how Kali would like us to live. They just want us to be products. They just want to exploit us and use us. The companies or how Kalyug operates. They just want us to not have an intellect, to not be conscious, so they can manipulate us in a certain way, or they can point directions, or they can take society in a certain direction. But that's not who we are. That's not what Baba wants us to be. So Baba is saying, even if it's the right things we're doing, we're following all the maryadas and the Srimad, and we've been doing that forever. But you have to be conscious, you have to be aware of what's going on. So being able, also having the power to accommodate, being able to mold myself as the situation requires. Not just saying, oh, but I've always been doing the right thing, which is a good thing to do, but you have to know what's the call of the time. We have to be aware of what's going on and being flexible and having the power to accommodate and being able to flow along with what the time requires, or what my inner soul is calling out, and probably more powerfully what Bab Dada wants us to do. So constantly fast means to be constant and stable. Let it not be that after 6 months you continue to move as you were moving. That is not called a fast speed. Those who have a fast speed would be moving ahead tomorrow from where they are today. Fast means accelerating. So today should be better than what it was yesterday, and tomorrow will be faster than what it is today. The day after, they would be further ahead. This is known as being one with a fast speed. So always consider yourselves to be strong Kumars. If you simply maintain the happiness that you have become Brahma Kumaris, you do not become strong. You cannot then become victorious. It is very good to have become a Brahma Kumar, but those who are strong Brahma Kumaris are constantly close. Those who are close now will be close in the kingdom too. So strength, where does strength come from? We know there's something that is tied together closely, that will be a strong bond. So our closeness needs to be with Baba. So Baba saying, if you're close to me now, then of course the result of that, you will be close in the kingdom too. If there isn't closeness in your stage at the present time, there will not be closeness in the kingdom. And closeness brings about physical strength as well, giving you comfort as well, but it also brings about, if I'm close to someone, I can share my deepest, darkest times, my challenges, things I cannot really share with someone else. So being that closeness and using that as a tool for my improvement, using Baba's strength, using Baba's wisdom, using Baba's vibrations for my advancement. The attainment of this time creates a reward for all time. Therefore, always be strong. Those who are powerful in this way can become world benefactors. Kumars have power anyway, whether it is physical power or spiritual power. However, is it power for world benefit, or is the power to be used in the task of making the elevated world destructive? So you are benevolent Kumars, are you not? You are not those who cause harm. Let there always be feelings of benefit for all in your thoughts. Power can be used for anything, can't it? We see the world the way it is because power has been used or misused in the wrong way. It's been directed to lead people in the wrong direction, to make everyone the slaves of Maya, to make everyone weak. So it's still power, but it's being used in such a negative way, whether it's, financial power, intellectual power, emotional power. We're being manipulated in all sense. Kalyug, that's what Kalyug does. So we still need power, even to do destructive things, because you still need energy, you still need direction, you still need thoughts, you still need to pull people in a certain direction. But that's Kalyug. That's what creates Kalyug. And that's what we don't want to do. So Baba's giving the option to us. Do you want to be, do you want to use your power for using it for destruction or being benevolent? You are benevolent, Kumars, are you not? You are not those who cause harm. Let there always be feelings of benefit for all in your thoughts, even in your dreams. Let there be the feelings of benevolence. This is known as being powerful in an elevated way. Kumars can do whatever they think of with that power, with their power. So the thoughts and the deeds are simultaneous. Let it not be that you have the thought today and the deed follows later. Let the thought and the deed be the same at the same time. Let there be such power. Only souls with such power can bring benefit to many souls. So you are those who are constantly successful in service. Or are you those who create conflict in your thoughts, in your actions? Always be all right with everyone. So, everything originates from the thought. So Baba referring to that. Let there not be any conflict about anything. Always consider yourselves to be the world benefactor Kumars, and whatever actions you perform will then be filled with the feelings of benevolence. Acha. So Baba referring wonderfully to the power of even having a single thought and then repeating that thought, becoming powerful within that thought, that I am a world benefactor, I'm a world benevolent soul. That one thought, and then increasing the speed of living with that thought, constantly emerging and creating those thoughts for myself, and then that will emit to the other people, and being strong and being on top of things and letting that flow, knowing that the world is the way it is, it does what it does, knowing the time that power is being used in an incorrect way, taking every soul or wanting to make every soul even more weak. So being aware of the time and being aware of my role, and then reiterating that and becoming more powerful and increasing my speed within my heart as well. So becoming better every day for myself and then for the world as well. Acha. Would we like to share what we liked?
Shanti, sister. Good morning. So the first analogy where Baba said to step up, that is not to get stuck in the same situation, is to feel pleasurable and feel happy, because it is akin to dancing, wherein you lift your feet above the ground. Just like dancing, you would step out of that situation and feel the newness. That's one thing. And next, when Baba spoke to Kumars, he brought in a very nice understanding that if you're constantly falling, then you become weak, falling because of Maya. But instead, you sense the presence of Maya and then remain away from it, and you tell yourself that you have attained something and that you're victorious. That way, you would become strong and powerful. Thank you. Om
Definitely.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. I think that analogy when Baba gave about dancing, that was so wonderful. That we all know the feeling of dancing. You can't really dance in sadness. There has to be joy in your heart. There has to be, you can't be heavy hearted. You can't be ill. They automatically is joy. They automatically is lightness. You automatically feel like jumping. And that jumping, not that you consciously jump up, but because that lightness and that happiness sort of encapsulates my existence at that time. So I'm constantly jumping here and there and everywhere. Like children do. We see them doing catapults and tapusis here and there and running and jumping around, not consciously, but that's just how their existence is. Or, at least it was until a few years ago. Children were constantly just running around for no reason. And whereas when you become a little older as adults, if you run around, you feel a little embarrassed, you're being told to slow down. But children automatically have that lightness, because they are not really bogged down by what, the so-called society or matter of this world. And then you are told to, sort of grow up and lose that happiness and that enthusiasm. So Baba's, again, bringing back that enthusiasm in our life, that don't really get stuck in what's going on, because ultimately it's a play. It is a drama. So if you're not enjoying a play, there's not much point watching it. We don't really want to be stuck. Even for a physical play, if you go and watch a movie or a play, if you're not enjoying it, you should ideally be able to just, get up and leave if it's not something that's giving joy to you. But many people would get stuck and just watch it just because they've already paid the money. They're like, oh, well, might as well put up with the suffering of it, which is it's a small little example. You're saving 200, 300 rupees or whatever. You feel like you don't want to waste the money, but that impact that negative emotions had on you, we fail to see the bigger picture of things. I mean, oh, well, you don't value your time, you don't value your emotions, you don't value the fact that it's not giving you something that, that's of course being dependent on the outside. But if we apply that to our situations that are going on, we know it's Kali Yuga. We know that everything around us it's nothing can give me pleasure. Firstly, the rule being I have to create my pleasure, I have to create my power. But then I live in this world, so there's an inevitable dependability and there's inevitable impact the world has on me. So I have to be aware that now is the time to step away and kind of not get bogged down by it, because we have to have the power to face, but we also need to have the power. We need to have the discrimination of when I need to be, where I need to be, and when is it Maya? When am I going to get stuck in that situation? When is the situation? It's not, we also spoke a little bit while I was reading the Murli about being conscious of what goes on. Our gyan is not, it's not static. Baba doesn't say that do this thing all the time. It's not, Baba doesn't say always get stuck and always you have to face every situation. Baba says you have to be aware, you have to make your consciousness, you have to make your awareness more strong. You have to be able to recognize Maya. You have to be able to see what's going on in the world. So we can't get stuck in the words and apply it in the wrong way, because you have to become more soul conscious. Soul conscious means being able to check the pulse of what's going on around in the world. What am I feeling? If there's a flu spreading around and I know my immunity is weak, I should not go out in public. I should be aware of that. I can't just jump in and go, well, no, what's wrong? Everyone else is out and about. Why can't I go out and no one else gets sick? And what is the point of just sitting at home all the time? I have to be sensible enough to say, no, I am weak. The flu's going around. I don't think my immunity can handle that. So it's better that I step away and I stay in my little shell. That's not weakness, that's strength. When you recognize something according to the time, according to what's needed, according to my capacity as well. And my capacity doesn't mean that I It doesn't mean if my immunity is low, it'll always be low. It just means at that particular time, I know my body is not up to it. So being aware of that, just like all of us, everyone in the world is sensible enough to say, okay, it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., wake up. But at nighttime, 9 p.m., 10, 11, it's time to go to sleep. You can't say, well, at 6 in the morning, I am so fresh. So how can I be tired at 10 p.m.? That is a silly thing to do. So you can't apply one thing to another time. You have to be aware of what is going on. So being able to dance, being able to enjoy every scene, but being aware of what's going on. So I don't get stuck. I am powerful enough to take the step that's needed. And powerful does not mean always being harsh on yourself and forcing yourself to always be on top of it. It means recognizing what's going on so I can play accordingly. Because if I force myself, I think that's a way to let Maya in. That's the way to leave the gates open where I said, no, well, I'm going to, I'm going to let every crazy dog into my life and then waste time chasing that situation away or that person away or that old sanskar away. It's better to keep myself protected. It's better to keep that gate shut. It's better to recognize Maya from a distance and then act accordingly, because also shutting off something can give me the power, the internal power to internalize what's needed and be connected constantly to Baba, rather than wasting my time on other beings, on other people, and constantly having to chase things away as well. So a lovely point, one having to dance all the time, consciously or unconsciously being not impacted, bogged down by the situations. Very nice point. Thank you. Anyone else?
Om Shanti.
Oh,
Am I audible?
Yes, brother.
Jibhai, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, what was that?
Sanjay Bhai wanted to share something, but she's on mute. I'm asking him to unmute.
Okay.
Baba talking about Kumars. Baba wants that the Kumars become strong. And Baba says that a Kumar intellect is good and healthy. And Baba wants that Kumars become very fast and be close, so that they should be close to the kingdom. And Baba also wants that the Kumars become world benefactors Kumars. And Baba says that Kumars can do whatever they think of with their power. The thoughts and deeds are simultaneous. And Baba wants that the thoughts and deeds be the same and at the same time be powerful.
Yes.
When we find that the Kumar, if you will see the word Kumar, K stands for knowledgeful. And when you are knowledgeful, that is Gyan Sarup, Gyan Amurt, then the knowledge becomes the weapon. And as Baba comparing with the military people, that they are with their weapons equipped with them, so they are brave and powerful. So Baba wants the Kumar to be knowledgeful, that is Gyan Swarup and Gyan Murt. And as Baba tells that my children become powerful, that is become knowledgeful, Gyan Swarup and Gyan Murt, and in that process, another letter U stands for uplifted. You will be uplifted. You will be above the base. You will be above all. So you will be called the right hand of Brahma, right hand of God, the Kumars. And in that process, in that Purusharth, another letter M says, Man Manabha Madhya Jivi Bhava. With that Purusharth, again you will be uplifted. And then A, you add on with divine virtues. You become, you gain the qualities, you gain the बाबा के ज्ञान, बाबा का रंग आप पर चढ़ जाता है क्योंकि आप बाबा से क्लोज हैं. As you are close, you get all the virtues of Baba. That is, you A is adorned with divine virtues. And R is reliable and responsible. And the last letter S, that is, you're always be soul conscious. And when you are soul conscious, that is, you will become nirakari, nirvikari, nirahankari. That is the outcome of the closeness of the sang ka rang, which you get when you are very, very close to Baba and when you are soul conscious. And the result, you become very strong. S is also for strong. So Baba wants us to be knowledgeful, get uplifted, do the purusarth of Manmanabha Madhya Jivi Bhava, adorn yourself with divine virtues, become reliable and responsible, soul conscious, and lastly be strong, Kumars. Om Shanti.
Wow, that was very nice, brother. You obviously done your homework. That was a very nice expansion on the letters of Kumars. And what a lovely way to remember your strengths. And Baba speaking about being powerful, being close, that is such a blessing, I feel. And when Baba brings about those elements within us and also reminding us that don't keep failing again and again. And usually a sense of feeling that I have been defeated or I have failed something comes much, much, much after many, many fails. The first few fails, because we don't think they're a big deal. We don't think it's a big sin or a big thing that's going to have a big negative impact. So we kind of do small little things. When Baba says Maya chor ke dware, Maya will kind of creep in, won't even know. So you think, oh, this is not really a big deal. So you'll keep doing little things that are little fails, but you don't recognize them as fails. But after some time, because you've done so many, suddenly a feeling of weakness and having been defeated comes. And that's when it feels a little bit harder to go beyond, because you've accumulated so many sanskars. But again, it's just a matter of, one thought that I am powerful. Past is past, and being able to recognize that that was Maya and not really me. And then moving forward onwards from that journey and being powerful, because it's a blessing, Baba said, because when you have the chance, Kumarji was speaking, because you have the chance at the moment, you've got that opportunity. So use that for the best. Don't create unnecessary situations for yourself. You are free, you are powerful. So why would you want to make yourself weaker? Don't give yourself that option. You've got options, so use the best one. Why not use the best one? Now, that would be a sensible thing for anyone to do. Choose the best one. Yeah, so a lovely blessing and teachings for all of us to go forward. Recognize that we have a fever, rest when we need to. Know when Maya's coming. Know when we need to be sensible. Be aware of what Baba's teaching, being aware of Maya, and keeping the blessing. Most importantly, Baba said, you are knowledgeful, you are powerful. So keeping that blessing with me all the time and being close to Baba all the time. That strength, that closeness, that relationship can give me so much and give me so much strength and the zeal and make me dance and keep going forward in all situations. How wonderful. Anyone else?
One line I want to add, that
Yes.
Baba said a very noticeable thing about the teachers. Baba said that the teachers are serviceable, and serviceable ones are those who constantly experience the pleasure of service.
Mm.
And Baba also said that a serviceable life means a life of pleasure. And so Baba want the teachers that be constantly stay in the pleasure of remembrance and service. And you have the pleasure of remembrance and also the pleasure of doing service. What more you want? You become the right hand of Shiva, but you become Guru. You become the Guru. You become the teacher. That is a representative of Shiva Baba. So no matter how confused some who come in front of you are, those who remain in pleasure are able to free them from confusion and bring them into a state of pleasure. Because as you are in the state of pleasure, so whosoever comes in contact with you, be in that state of pleasure. So such servers who remain in pleasure are always healthy in their bodies and minds. Om Shanti.
That was very nice. Baba was speaking to the teachers or the instruments, really, any instrument that's there for service, that because vibrations are such that if it's a negative vibration that impacts human beings, that's how it's been created, that each situation, each vibration has an impact. So Baba's saying now, because you constantly being on service, there's a difference between, perhaps more so now, that we can physically be doing service or doing something as a duty because we're supposed to, and then there's something we're doing from the heart, something that my heart calls out, and that can only happen if I'm connected to Baba. Service, of course there'll still be a positive impact even if you've done something without your heart in it, but the point is Baba wants you to be close to Baba. We can only transform when we're close to Baba, when we keep Baba in between everything we do. Even if it's BK things, sometimes we get kind of do BK chores in a mundane way without awareness, but Baba has to be there. They'll still have a positive impact because you're doing a good thing. But if Baba's not there, then I'm not really using the power of the confluence stage. I'm not really being in that state of pleasure. I might just be doing something for the sake of it, or because, I've dedicated my life and I don't really have any other option. So my timetable has become like that, perhaps, or if I've taken up a particular service and I need to continue on anyway. But if that pleasure is missing, or if I'm not enjoying every moment of it, even if it's something as mundane, as a routine, something that you do every day, making food or doing the dishes or giving the course, whatever it is, that's your routine. Baba needs to be there, because when Baba is there, the powers and then my awareness changes so much. When we were talking previously about being conscious of what we're doing, I'm not doing something just for the sake of it. What I did something, even if it's the same thing I've been doing for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, the power has to be there every day. The power has to increase every day. My stage has to increase every day. It cannot be, Abbas referred to in the Murli today, it cannot be the same as it was yesterday. It has to go up today. And that can only happen when I'm aware of what's going on, when I'm performing or doing even anything physical, anything emotional, when I'm doing any transaction with Baba with me. Baba's constantly with me. I am close to Baba. And Sankarang, if I am close, if my awareness, if my consciousness is with Baba, then of course, whatever Baba's impact is going to have a huge impact on my life. And I'm going to act accordingly. I'm going to walk accordingly. I'm going to do accordingly. But many a times we don't become aware. We kind of do things just for the sake of it. And it's still, I've said that, I will repeat it again. It's not a bad thing, but I'm not using, then I'm doing good things, but I'm not using the confluence age to the maximum potential. This is the only age, this is the only time, this is the only few moments I get complete consciousness, and I get to spend that time with Baba. This is the only time I'll ever get to do that. Virtues will be there throughout the Kalpa. Other wonderful people will be there. There will always be little fights here and there between evils and goods. You'll always be making decisions. There'll be people that there'll be Maya throughout the Kalpa. There'll be situations, there'll be challenges, there'll be people taking the world in a different way. The people that are, there's different types of assaults happening. So you'll still be using your wonderful powers that, that we are accumulating now. We know that you'll still be implementing all of that wonderful power, but from my power. This is the only time I'll get to use Baba's power. I've got God with me. I can use Baba's power for even the smallest task, the biggest task, the whatever task, a mundane task, an everyday task. This is the only time I get to do that. And that's the only way for me to become more powerful. And if I don't use that time, if I don't have that awareness, and I'm still dependent, because it's a fact, I have, I've learned knowledge, I've read so much. I have my own brain as well. I have my own power as well. That is a fact as well. But if I am only still dependent on my power, I think that's really missing out on the pleasure that confluence age can offer. It's really missing out on what Baba wants us to do. We take from Baba, we learn from Baba, we use that energy, but that should be used throughout the Kalpa. This is not the time to use my energy. This is the time for me to increase my bond with Baba. This is the time for me to become powerful. This is the time for me to switch off my brain, relax, and just let Baba do everything. Spend every second, every moment, every minute of my being, my existence, let Baba be there. And then I'll see where Baba will take me to, what heights and what depths and what love I will experience and what pleasure and what Baba can offer beyond my wildest imaginations, what Baba can offer.
And one line more for about the server. Baba says that this is the Purushottam Shangham Yoga, and you are the teacher. Baba says that a server means to receive a special blessing. That if you become a server, you get a special blessing from the bestower of blessings. And a server has a special blessing. One is your own attention, and the other is the blessing, a double lift. And Baba says to be a server means to be a soul who is constantly free to experience the stage of liberation in life. Om Shanti.
Very nice. Wonderful. Okay.
Just before we move to meditation, we have an announcement for tomorrow. We shall be deepening and doing a deeper study on the Murli dated 21st of January 1985. Sister Venu from Los Angeles would be taking the entire month tomorrow. Request each one of us to read the Murli and come back with some experiences that we may have by the practices that we took after that Murli. Over to you, Herman Ben, for meditation.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll just sit in silence since it's 6 a.m. Just me and Baba. The powerful soul Baba's made me. Make a promise to myself to use Baba, to keep Baba with me, to enjoy his company, to enjoy his power. This is the time to let go. I can relax. I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything. Let Baba in every moment of my being. Let Baba take over my life. Allow Baba to make all my decisions. I just remember my pure being. Baba is with me constantly, and I am the most powerful soul. Use this wonderful confluence age keep Baba's company. let Baba perform magic. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Have a lovely morning and a beautiful week ahead. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Herman sister. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a fantastic day.